Hi, in this lesson we're going to be talking about some of the power and log off options that you could use from the command line in Windows. So we're going to start our discussion with the shutdown command. So this could be used obviously to shut down the computer and also to restart it. So there are several switches that go along with it. So one of the more common commands to use is shutdown/S. Make sure you have the space, and that'll just shut down the computer. And then there's the shutdown P, which turns off the power if it's supported hardware. But most of the time when you do a shutdown command, it's going to turn off the power anyways. And then if you want to use the /T for time, you could have it specify a time before shutting down, such as 60 seconds. And then to abort it, you could do a shutdown A. So let's try this out here. Okay, let's get ready to cancel it here too. Windows will shut down in 1 minute. So let's abort it. Log off is canceled. Scheduled shutdown is canceled. Okay, then of course you have /R for restart, so that'll actually shut down and then reboot the computer and force applications to close. And then if things aren't working right, you could try /F to force the shutdown and closing of applications. And then you have /L to log off the current user. And here's a couple other not so commonly used options. /hybrid performs a fast startup shutdown similar to hibernation, preserving the user session to speed up the next boot, and shutdown FW initiates a firmware shutdown for firmware updates or hardware configuration changes. So here's some more samples down here, and then put a note down here too to make sure you run this as administrator to make sure everything works correctly. And then one other one I want to show you is the shutdown /I, and that'll bring up the Remote Shutdown Dialog GUI. So if you're an admin, you could add remote computers to the list and then pick if you want to shut down or restart or annotate an unexpected shutdown. And then you could change the display warning here, and if you want to change the type here for the shutdown event tracker, you could do so and actually add your own custom one. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the log off command next. So you probably saw this here. There's a log off option for shutdown. But if you want to have a little more control over the log off process, you could use some of these, such as /V, which will provide a visual warning message to the user before logging them off. You could use the /T like you can with the shutdown command to specify how long you want to wait before the log off happens. You also have a /F like you do with the shutdown command to force the log off without warning. /D, which could be used for remote desktop server. And then /P will actually shut down the computer after logging them off. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some power related options using the PowerCfg command. So if you want to see all your available power plans, you could do a list here. So let's try this out. So we have the balance, the high performance, and the power saver, and the asterisk is starred there. So let's go to Control Panel and see what we have in use here. So this one is using balance, just like it shows. And then this GUID number here you could use with some of these other commands. So if you want to see the detailed information about a specific power plan, you could use the PowerCfg query with the GUID number here, which I have right here. So let's see what this does. See, it gives you a lot of information there. Probably more than you'll ever need. That's just an option for you. So let's clear the screen here. Okay, then we have PowerCfg A, shows available sleep states. So this computer is not using any sleep configuration, so let's see what it shows you if you're not. So this is telling us that some of these sleep states are not available on the system. This is a virtual machine, so that's probably why it can't really read the firmware information on it. Okay, let's clear this out. And then you could take that GUID and set a specific power plan if you want to use the set active switch there. Delete, create, if you want to create your own power plan. Energy reports. So this one's kind of interesting here. So let's run this. So it takes a minute here to gather the information. Okay, so it's complete, and here it says energy efficiency problems were found. Here's some errors, warnings, and informational, so we could actually copy this right here, paste it into File Explorer, and it'll open up the report in your web browser. So here's the report here, computer name, BIOS, build, all this other information. Here are the errors that it found. Right there, we have some warnings. And then we have some other general information, so that's kind of nice. And then if you have a laptop, you could do a battery report right here from this one. Then we have some sleep and hibernate options here if you want to turn on hibernate or sleep here. I've set some wake timers. Then we have a troubleshooting section here, so if you want to use the /requests option here, show system active and device power requests. So none there, last wake. So this should show nothing as well because it's not using any sleep. So count 0. And then we have some device management settings. So if you want to query a certain device or enable or disable a device from waking the system, you could do so. You just need to find the proper device name and plug that in. Okay, so there's your basic overview of some of the power and log off commands you could use in Windows. So obviously these are not all of the switches that go with these commands. So if you want to investigate a little further, you could do an online search for it and get a complete list, and then you could take it from there.